Many people have asked me what my position is on abortion and abortion rights, especially since I was proudly the person responsible for the ending of something that all legal scholars, both sides, wanted and, in fact, demanded be ended. Roe v. Wade. They wanted it ended. It must be remembered that the Democrats are the radical ones on this position because they support abortion up to and even beyond the 9th month. The concept of having an abortion in the later months and even execution after birth, and that's exactly what it is. The baby is born, the baby is executed after birth, is unacceptable, and almost everyone agrees with that. My view is now that we have abortion where everybody wanted it from a legal standpoint, the states will determine by vote or legislation or perhaps both, and whatever they decide must be the law of the land, in this case, the law of the state. Many states will be different. Many will have a different number of weeks, or some will have more conservative than others, and that's what they will be. At the end of the day, this is all about the will of the people. You must follow your heart or, in many cases, your religion or your faith. Do what's right for your family and do what's right for yourself. Do what's right for your children. Do what's right for our country and vote. So important to vote. At the end of the day, it's all about will of the people. That's where we are right now, and that's what we want, the will of the people.
What's going on, everyone? It's Talks with Kenny here today, and I want to give my analysis about Trump's recent, he's trending right now, about his position about abortion. Now, first of all, I agree 100% with Donald Trump just said. Yes, I am pro-life. I believe that you shouldn't abort your kid, or in my case, you shouldn't kill your kid because you perceive them as an inconvenience to your own goals and your own life. Because as a parent, you have a duty to your offspring, and that's what fetus means, an offspring. End of the day, the fact is a mother is killing her child because she perceived the child as an inconvenience for them. I believe this is a human rights violation, in my view anyway, right? If it's a human life, it has human rights. That's just my position, culturally anyway. But as a populist, you are adhered to the will of the people. That is inherent in populism. Sorry, not sorry. This is look. Trump doesn't represent an authoritarian movement, no matter how much the left keeps trying to push that Trump is an authoritarian. No, Trump is a 1995 Democrat. That's what Trump is. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. I'm waiting. Tell me I'm lying. Trump is a 1995 Democrat running as a conservative. That's where the nation is right now. Because when you become a politician, you have to look at things pragmatically. And what sparked my curiosity to explain this, someone named Jenna Ellis criticized Trump for his position. This is why I labeled the thumbnail Disagreement Day. Trump, so weak. Trump punts on the issue of pro-life and pledges to support whatever states decide, including blue states that allow abortion until the moment of birth. Follow your heart is a hallmark mark card, not a strong conservative principled policy. Now,
that includes
what my argument against this is that right now is politically not smart to have such a pro-abortion against abortion, like vying for an abortion ban, and it's not feasible. Like, why you advocate for something that is not feasible? Ron DeSantis, and this is this lady. She seemed like she was a big DeSantis person. Look, Trump is weak for adopting the position you have advocated for years. And they exposed her on this tweet because she got ratioed here. 800 replies to 500 likes. And people are calling out for her hypocrisy here. Dr. Oz gave the perfect answer for a U.S. Senator candidate on abortion. He will not support any legislation that takes away decision-making from states. This is constitutionally correct answer. How hard is that? Lindsey Graham, and she's quoting someone else. Here's her response. Trump isn't a U.S. Senator candidate, and I support the federal government restricting abortion, not taking away the ability of states to restrict it. That don't make sense to me. Because we live in a day and age right now that federal mandates oversee state mandates. That was what Roe v. Wade was initially. No matter if you're Wisconsin, whatever other states that want to ban abortion completely, the federal government forced you to have abortion. So if you're a state that wants to ban abortion and you support Trump restricting abortion even further, like what Ron DeSantis have here in Florida, I think it's 6 weeks. You want him to federally mandate that all states must keep it within 6 weeks. What if a state wants to ban it? There's a conflict there, right? And this is where it makes me consistent. Is politics is a downstream of culture. Right now in 2024, we live in a culture where people want safe, legal, rare. We live in a culture right now that majority of people want abortion, some form of abortion that's accessible. From a practical, pragmatic standpoint, politically, Trump has the best position. Trump articulated the best position. Hey, this is his mission. This is his message. Trump already did what the conservatives wanted to do. Conservatives didn't want an abortion ban, right? We would like that. That's the ideal, but we don't live in ideal situations. So therefore, you can't give an idealistic answer. This is the problem with politics, right? This is why I keep trying to tell people. If I decided to run for office, I'll have to take on a position that is more palpable to the American people. Sorry, not sorry. That's the reality. Because I believe what's better for a pro-life stance, having a Democrat in there or having a Republican. Now, I understand the Democrats are radical. They're extreme. They're pushing for 9-month abortions in some states. But the problem that the Republicans have and the Democrats don't, is that they have mainstream media that will run cover, try to frame it in the most positive light possible. Republicans don't have that luxury. That means Republicans have a less luxury of being radical. We can be radical on local state levels. This is why I think people, when you're starting to get into politics, don't focus so much on the national politics. Focus more on your local politics. Because right now, Ron DeSantis can ban abortion if he wanted to. Because in Florida, in my state of Florida, he has a supermajority. Do Donald Trump has a supermajority going into the 2024 election? Hell no. It's a deadlock. It's gridlock. That means what the American people, you have to listen to the people, bro. It's a two-way street. You have to do a win-win situation. I think the most logical kind of position on abortion right now, right? If I remove my idealism out of it, is only allowing abortion for medical reasons, incest, and rape. That's it. That's the only reason you should be allowed to get an abortion. To me, that is the most rational, and still, because the main issue when you say, we're going to ban abortion, the main thing they say is, they use those three as the exception, even though those three make up less than 1% of all abortions committed per year. Less than 1% of abortions are due to rape, incest, or medical reasons. But those are those exceptions they use to justify why abortion for any reason. Make it make sense. All abortion, look, pro-choicers people, they want women to have the right to essentially end the life of their offspring. Let's call a spade a spade. That's what it is. There's no moral argument to justify a mother ending the life of her child because the life of the child is inconvenience to her. That's what it means to be a parent. Your kids are not convenient for you. They're not here for your convenience. But based on what a woman thinks, she should be able to end the life of the child. But at the same time, these pro-choicers, the so-called pro-choicers, these pro-abortionist people will want these women, if they choose to keep the baby, that the father should be held on the hook to support the child against his will. Like, imagine that. And I want to end off this because I didn't want to speak too long on this, because Trump isn't a U.S. citizen. You already said this was the only position Trump could take and hope to win in November. He just brilliantly took away the Democrats' number one issue, which is, I think that's plausible. I think this is fine. Dude, I get you're backing Trump and that's fine, but let's be honest about him like you were when you supported DeSantis. This is not the right call. What are you talking about? This is the right call. This person just want to be DeSantis all the way. Who knows what it is? We need to back the GOP candidate. Stop all this infighting. This is the dumbest of all responses, right? Oh. Let me ask this. Let me end this off because I don't want to go too long on this video. The abortion issue is just like the slavery issues. When Abraham Lincoln ran in, I believe, 1853. Sorry, guys, my dates are wrong, but I just know it happened. When he ran, he said, I don't have to sleep with a black woman. I don't have to like black women to defend their right to have this. Trump is literally doing the same thing here. Hey, you guys decide your own states. I'm not going to infringe upon it legally, politically. That is not my attempt to do this. Because right now, sentiments, the same way slavery was still widely accepted in our culture, just like abortion is widely accepted in our culture. And you have to take incremental steps towards ending it. You can't just come in and then be like, I'm gonna restrict it, and you get a backlash, right? What happened? Lincoln get in, states started seceding. I believe if the left really care about abortion like I think they do, this is something they're willing to secede from. They'll secede from the union over this stuff, just like they did for slavery. Democrats seem to always be at the bad end of a human rights violation here, because I believe, like women treat their babies like the slave owners treated their slaves as their property, and that's the moral core of the pro-abortion argument. Tell me I'm lying, because any abortion person that comes on my comment section trying to defend abortion, all you have to do, you cast their whole argument in the frames of slavery, they can make the same case for slavery. Oh, I wanted the child to have a good life. If I can't provide the child a good life, what's the point of birthing it? Oh, the slave won't be able to fend for itself. I'm doing the slave a favor by giving him a job, giving him shelter, giving him food, taking care of him. If we free the slaves, he'll have to be responsible for all those inadequacies, all those inconveniences. Don't you see? It's better to be a slave. I can make the same argument for slavery. Shout out to a conservative black woman. I forgot her name. She was the one that kind of exposed that to me. I said, wow, it is that case. Because end of the day, pro-abortion violates human rights. That's the core tenet. This is the core. This is the unreligious argument for being anti-abortion. I'm a stoic. I'm an agnostic, right? You can't throw this label. Oh, Kenny, you're being religious. No, human life. Can you deny? Is it a human life or is it not? Humans produce other humans. Logical or not? Okay. DNA is considered the roadmap of the human development cycle. Okay. Can you recognize fetus as just being the first or early stages of human life developing? So you're okay with arbitrarily ending a life at its earlier stages? What's stopping you from progressing it to the toddler stage? Because at the end of the day, the kid still can't fend for itself. Because the argument is, if the kid can live on its own without the mother, then it's a viable, then it can be considered a baby. Okay, so you're making qualifiers for human life. Okay, why can't someone make a qualifier for human life the other way? Why not make it older? Hey, why not saying until you turn 18, you're at the mercy of your parents when whether you get to live or die. If you do anything wrong against your parents, it's like, oh, hey, that's the third straw, kid. We're going to have to euthanize you. What's stopping people from doing that? You already see in Canada, they're doing medically assisted suicide. See, this is what I'm talking about with progressives. They want centralized power. They want the government to, we want to codify abortion. That's just one step into this chain of, okay, what's stopping someone from getting in and saying, let's push for this. Oh, women are struggling. Look at the high cost of daycare. Look at the inconvenience children bring on you. Like, it's going to get dark here, but it's almost like women or liberal women's, I'm going to specify this. It seems like liberal women treat their children like almost like pets. And when the pet gets too inconvenienced, you either put them in a shelter, aka orphanage, or you put them down, aka abortion. That's the core tenet of the whole pro-abortion argument, is that they treat their kids like property. That's it. There's no moral equivalency. It's not some women's rights issue because your rights end when another's begin, right? This is human rights violation. I don't believe human rights supersedes human rights. That's my idealistic position. Now, if all of society, right, is still, there's a culture in the society where some abortion is still tolerated, then it's up to social commentators, political commentators, pro-life activists to continue making the argument in the culture to change public sentiment. Because as long as public sentiment is the way it is today, and a widespread agreed upon abortion ban is not possible, especially in a country that is fractured from an idealistic point of view, an ideological point of view. We don't have a same world vision. If we all had the same world vision, which is what I'm trying to help bridge that gap. I want a unified a unified people. Only a unified people can make a unilateral decision. Right? Let's ban abortion throughout the country or not. A house divided cannot stand, and that is true. But if we are divided, then it takes a more nuanced application of the law. And the federal government cannot provide that. Only states can. And then people will make choices for themselves. It's time to stop having this parent-like government trying to referee or tell us how to do what to do. Right? Just like I told you, the government's a referee. That's my stance. So if the government's a referee, hey, all states are allowed to make their choices on abortion. So if you decide you want to do that, you want to build your team this way, you want to do this, that's your problem. But don't get mad when you suffer the negative consequences of pushing those choices. Because end of the day, who's having more abortions, liberals or conservatives? Let's look at it in 20 years period, 30-year period. People are predicting that the future is conservative because conservatives are having more kids. Most parents going into the future will be conservative parents. If that trends keep going, eventually we will reach this cultural cohesiveness where we'll be like, let's ban abortion 50 years from now. But me and you may not live to see that. But at this point, I think Trump has the correct position on this. I think people will disagree with me heavily. And I get it from an idealistic point of view. I understand. But when you get into politics, you have to be pragmatic, almost Machiavellian in a way to win. Right? Because end of the day, you can't let the perfect get in the way of the good. And I think that's what's going on right now with this abortion debate. But let me hear what you guys have to say about this in the comment section below. I'll be interested to hear what you guys have to say, or you guys are thinking about this about this topic. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate you guys watching to end the video, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.